name is Erin German. I am a self-diagnosed high-mass and autistic, and I also have ADHD, which has been formally diagnosed. I was introduced to the idea that I may be autistic about a year ago via a therapist I was seeing for, really the core of it was exhaustion, and just an inability to really handle my life. I mean, that was the core of it. It's just an inability to manage, and that's why I started. That's why I went back to therapy. I've been in and out of therapy since I was 13. And the therapist has kind of mentioned it to me offhandedly, and she didn't really go too much into it. And like many people, my construct of what autism looked like was your stereotypical white male presenting autism, or autism with a dash of intellectual disability, which was obviously not my case, and I didn't see it. I couldn't see it. I was unaware of the female phenotype of autism, high masking, and I wasn't in a place where I was able to see that in myself. And so I, consequently, me and the therapist, we had gotten to an impasse. And she knew it and I knew it, and she graduated me from therapy, which was probably the first time that's ever happened to me, that I've graduated from therapy. And it didn't feel like a victory, because I knew that she was graduating me because she didn't feel like there was anything else she could do for me. And the reason she couldn't do anything else for me was because I'm autistic, and unless I accept that and everything that comes with that, in my opinion, progress can be made. And so, since then, since graduating therapy, I as of recent, I've come to a place where I can't manage my burnout. Right, I believe that I've been in a state of severe burnout probably for 18 months, but mild burnout probably since I had my daughter about 3 years ago, if not even during pregnancy, where I was during pregnancy I was dealing with a lot of suicidal ideation and all of that stuff that goes with that. And so I say that to say I've since come to the place of accepting my autism, because I feel as if I have no choice but to, right? Because I'm in a place of burnout now where the loss of skills is severe, the exhaustion is almost unbearable, and my sensory issues are off the charts. And it's scary. And but also with that, I take into account that finally realizing what is wrong with me, and all of these things that I either thought were innate to all humans. I thought everybody was constantly scanning people, their reactions, how they're being interpreted by others in every conversation always, right? I thought everybody did that. And that type of thing that like I just thought this was human experience rather than this experience is specific to me and to other autistic people, right? And I think what has further complicated um, the what has further complicated the what has made this whole my dynamics even more complicated, I guess, would be that I have complex PTSD. So I have complex PTSD. I'm autistic and ADHD. So all that gets messy, right? And so if we go back to my childhood, right? I began self-harming at age 11, right? I was hospitalized for the first time at the age of 14, diagnosed with major depressive disorder due to I was hospitalized due to a quasi-suicide attempt. I mean, it was pretty serious, but I don't really know if there was an incident there or anything. I really think retrospectively that it's just a cry for help, right? Additionally, I have a mother who is either autistic, borderline, or both. And again, one of my special interests is psychology and behavior. And so I have thought that she was borderline for some time now. But as I'm doing this journey of self-exploration, I'm realizing the autistic traits that she has. And so, I'll tell you, for some reason, it was easier for me to accept that she was borderline rather than I'm having some difficulty accepting that everything that she has going on, and frankly everything she did to my siblings and I can be connected to autism. I feel like there's a cruelty there that isn't necessarily indicative of autism. But this is an exploration, right? Like I'm learning. And so, and maybe that doesn't really matter right now, right? Maybe that doesn't. But as I'm learning about who I am through the lens of my autism, I'm putting all of these puzzle pieces together, right? Like I'm putting all of these puzzle pieces together that never made sense. They never made sense. And all the diagnoses that I received never quite fit, right? They never quite fit. It just seemed like something was missing, right? And it was, because my autism diagnosis was missing. And so I'm starting this channel so that I can document this journey. I would like to be able to document it like via writing and stuff. Maybe I will at some point, but due to my level of burnout right now, that seems really almost impossible. I'm in a sharp cognitive decline, and I'm experiencing avoidant restrictive food intake disorder. It has gotten significantly worse. It's called ARFID for short. It's gotten significantly worse, and um, that my malnutrition right now is and my inability to sleep is exasperating all my other burnout symptoms, and it's really scary. And the ARFID in particular centers around bugs, and I have a lot of trauma centered around bugs specifically. I'm not gonna get into it right now. Maybe I'll make a video later on, kind of going into that more. But it didn't start that way, right? It started probably about 6 to 9 months ago with having a difficulty with. I've always had a difficulty with textures, but however long ago, I started having a lot of difficulty with meat in particular, and didn't really think anything of it, right? I just don't like meat. I'm starting to not like meat, right? Or at that point, that's what I thought. I'm just I don't like meat anymore, right? People's taste change, whatever. So I thought, and then as my burnout has quickly become more severe, I have developed ARFID, and I have lost 50 pounds probably in the last 3 months, and it's not gonna get better. It's getting significantly worse. My the foods I eat have always been like this, right? Small. The amount of foods that I eat is a small amount. I typically have a favorite food. Uh, it might be a Chobani fillet, key lime, for years that's what it was, and years, day in, day out. Again, so is one of my quirks, and I guess technically it is, but it's also I find comfort in routine. And anyhow, I say to say I don't have a favorite food right now. I've lost most, if not all, interest in food, and which of course is the body, after a certain point of malnutrition, the body stops sending you hunger signals, because it's a very simplified version, but the body is really lazy, and if it doesn't have enough resources to do something, it's not going to, right? My body, due to the depletion of nutrition, decided that it's not worth the energy to send me hunger signals. Anyhow, so right now where I'm at with things is it's nearly impossible to find a clinician to give me an autism assessment. I may have something in the works. I pray, but and I'll tell you why I want this assessment. I want the assessment not because I need it to know that I'm autistic. I know that I'm autistic without a shadow of a doubt in my mind. I need it so that the people that I love and the people around me will accept that I'm autistic, because I have masked for so long and so well that nobody believes me. right now. You can't be autistic. You can't be autistic. You look normal. You sound normal, right? But that's the point. That's the point, right? Like, you don't know that I'm autistic because I haven't wanted you to know that all of these things are going on with me. Because in order to be safe, my mind equated that to normality. And so that's what I've attempted and have presented to everyone in my life. So that's why the diagnosis is important to me. And possibly access to services. I don't think that there are nearly enough services, and especially the female phenotype is so underdiagnosed and frankly looked over. High masking, especially, that there aren't really any resources. That's the reality of where I'm at. I'm in America. There aren't many resources. Anyhow, but I think the diagnosis is important because the people in my life will be able to accept what I'm saying as fact if I have that. Or so I think. I don't know. So I just do it, right? And the reason that's important that they understand that is because, and really this whole idea of unmasking, right? The whole idea of unmasking, that seems impossible because I don't know. I've actively my entire life worked to not be whatever person is underneath of the mask, right? And so the idea of not having that, it seems unrealistic, really. But I think the only way and to recover from this level of burnout um, is to figure it out, right? Is to figure out what that would look like for me, like what my needs are, what my sensory needs are, what my what my dietary needs are. I mean, there's so much that autism encompasses. I'm learning, and it's gonna be a wild ride. But I'm gonna take you with me, and here's my hope, right? Yeah. So if you're on this journey too, I wish you peace. So, all right, I'll see you soon. Bye.